playing a Valorant game and you keep dying and dying and dying, your stress levels start rising, your overall confidence in yourself starts to shatter, and you start to feel anxious. Then you look over at your friends list and scroll through them and see people who started out worse than you end up becoming immortal in just 6 months of playing. After seeing that, you can't help yourself in feeling doubtful and ask yourself, why can't I do the same? Unexpectedly, Valorant can be a very anxiety-inducing game because of 3 crucial reasons. The first reason being, you were directly punished by your poor performances. You can't just delete your games on the career, so it will stay there until it refreshes and be a haunting reminder of how poorly you played. Every time you check back on yourself in your career, you can clearly look at all the poor performances you made and start beating yourself up because of it. Also, the ease of being able to just simply go onto the leaderboard and stare at how good some of these players are, it all demoralizes you, especially if you have been playing for longer than them. The second reason is because of the community. There are a lot of players who are toxic as hell and just want to ruin people's experiences. And it doesn't help if you are playing a game and losing because of your poor performance that these players make it their mission to push and scream at you until you are mentally and physically given up on not just the game, but yourself as a player. The last reason being is simply your confidence in yourself. Many people experience a thing called imposter syndrome, where they don't believe they have earned a spot in the rank and are just not good enough. And tying back to the previous point, they are overly scared to even play because of the fear of players judging them and scrutinizing them for their potential poor performance. These are all valid areas that millions of people, not even in Valorant, suffer from. And I'm going to try to answer and help each and every one of them because I personally have all experienced these before. So let's start with the first one, being looking over at your poor performances. I know it's hard to keep yourself from judging yourself on these past performances, but the key word to the sentence was that it was in the past. It can't affect you anymore because there's nothing you can do to change that poor performance in the game you played. However, this doesn't mean you can't try your best to improve and prevent this from happening again. Have your desire for wanting to improve be stronger than your desire of being afraid to lose. You need to understand that whatever happened in the past, you can't change, but you can still change what your mindset is right now and how you approach this problem. I assure you, if you still have that fire to improve and still have that eagerness to get better, those games that you had in the past will become a lot less frequent. Now going into the next thing, which is battling the toxic community that Valorant has. Unfortunately, since it's a team game, it truly sucks having a player on your team continue to batter and belittle you because of your score. And most of the time, you can't really reason with them, and they will always be angry at you for losing their RR. But the best thing about this is that this all affects them. It affects their mentality and their day. You don't need to have this affect yours too. A great quote that comes to mind is, "We have 86,400 seconds in a day. Don't let someone's negative 60 seconds ruin the remaining 86,340 seconds you have left." This quote really resonated with me and truly puts into perspective of how insignificant other people's opinions about you are. Truly, I mean truly, don't let these people get in your head and start controlling your emotions. I know you and I are much better than that, and we don't need to waste our precious time arguing back and forth against somebody who can't be reasoned with. Don't worry about your score, and don't worry about what other people think about you. As long as you are trying your best, calming as much as you can, and trying to support the team in every way you know how, that's all that matters. Also, don't let these people try to push their insecurities on you. Not everyone in Valorant is trying to go pro, and you're probably just like me who plays this game like how it is, a game. The main reason for playing Valorant is going in and having as much fun as you possibly can while still obviously trying to win and improve. Don't let these random people try to tell you otherwise and think that your performance dictates how successful or likable you are as a person. Because believe it or not, there are players like that, and it hurts painfully when I see it. So again, don't let these people affect how you play and just keep pushing on and doing your best. Lastly is facing imposter syndrome and boosting your confidence. Maybe you are anxious about performing poorly in your next ranked game, or being scared that you'll make a mistake that will result in a loss in the game. Then you go play hours upon hours of DMs, watch thousands of skillcast videos, and sit in the range until your hands start to cramp up. But then realize that none of this is helping, and you're in a constant loop of fear. Again, you're not the only one. When I first got Immortal, I was deathly afraid to queue another game because maybe I won't ever hit it again. Maybe this was my limit, my end in Valorant. The biggest thing I have to say to that is to look back at yourself. Look back at how far you've actually gone and how much progress you've actually made. I personally started at Iron, and when I looked back at my games and clips of me absolutely whiffing and getting slapped around by mere bronzes and silvers, it really put me into perspective on how much better I actually got, which helped me realize that this wasn't my limit. This wasn't my cap. I have so much more growing to do, even if I reach my initial goal of Immortal. The same thing probably applies to a lot of you. Look back at where you started and truly see how much better you got and how much more dominant a player you are in your ranked games. I know it's really easy to forget this and oversee your progress over the games that you play terribly in, but just realize that those games are outliers. Those games won't happen all the time. As long as you understand that you have more room to grow, this is where you can truly be at peace and be able to surpass your limits and continue on queuing up until you reach higher and higher limits with your skill. Don't be afraid to click that queue up button, because believe me, you have gone so far in your progress to being a good player. So don't let it prevent you from being a great one. Thanks everyone for watching, and see you guys in the next video. Merry Christmas and have a good New Year.